And now, another exciting episode of As the River Churns.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday to you. As you can see, we got an extra special guest today,
Yes.
Tim Webster from our corporate offices, or as he likes to call it, the Management Services Office. Yeah, I think corporate's got a negative kind of feeling to it, right, Tim? And that's why we've kind of gone away from that.
MSO,
Management Services Office. So we're very happy to have Tim with us today. And so he has not, unfortunately for Tim, he has not seen any of our shows, so he has no idea what the format is and what we're going to be doing. So
Did you say fortunately or unfortunately?
I don't remember what word I used.
Yeah, it could go either way. So
So do we want to go ahead and turn our hourglass
yes,
over today?
Tim, if you can help me with this.
sure. How'd I do?
Perfect.
Thank you.
So, Tim, I think the only experience you have from about anything about our show is what you heard from last week with Marisa and her being a guest on our show last Friday. Is that
Correct. And thus I'm nervous.
right? And Tim, you have every right to be nervous, I think.
Oh.
So, but Lisa, I think we want to talk about the photo of the day. That was pretty
Yes, and it's submitted by an anonymous resident.
cool. Anonymous, yes.
I think you all know that we're calling it Whitney's delivery team. She delivered over 200 strawberry orders this week to our residents.
Wow, that's amazing.
And one resident made a strawberry pie and sent us a picture of it. She didn't send the pie,
Well, I was wondering that.
just a picture. So
It wasn't enough to make two, apparently.
there wasn't.
I understand why she was anonymous.
Exactly. So thank you for that picture, and the strawberries were beautiful this week. So, but Whitney's, I think, kind of tired. She's not ready to commit to doing it again yet.
She's not yet?
I got to work on that.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep working on it, though, because I think
It was
we
a
made
rough
a lot
week.
of residents very happy this week with
We
the strawberries.
did. Just a long week, but
So,
we'll get
you know,
there.
Lisa, we're going to have to be on our P's and Q's today with Tim being here.
I know. This
It
is
can't
a little.
be like last Friday. I mean, it's bad enough of Marisa, but, you know, you and I
Right.
lost place a couple times, and
We did.
tried to end the show early a couple times.
We
and
did.
All kinds of different things.
Yeah. So I think we're going to be on track today. We have a good agenda.
Okay,
So
good.
we're going to stay on track.
So we're going to start with the trivia question like we usually
We
do. right?
are.
And I understand that because of Tim being here, we talked about the idea that the trivia prize today would be one free month's rent for a resident.
That's what we heard.
whoa,
We
whoa,
wanted
whoa,
Tim to
whoa, whoa, whoa.
confirm that.
Cut. We got to start over here.
Okay, as a consolation prize.
Consolation prize,
Tim,
yeah.
can you
Yes.
display this for us?
Yes.
Okay.
We have this nice Uline bag. And does anybody want to see what's inside?
Yeah, I do.
Ah, yes. A very rare and scarce item these days.
Now, that's
Paper
a big
towel.
roll of toilet paper.
Well,
Oh, that's
See if you
not
turn
toilet
it to the side,
no
Tim.
comment.
Turn it to the side. Toilet paper.
Okay, roll from the front or from the back?
Yes.
Oh. Speaking of TP,
Yes. Oh, of course.
oh yeah.
See? That's
Single
gold.
ply or dual ply?
It sure is.
It's probably
Yes.
Oh, okay, so that's the big prize today.
Yes.
For the trivia.
Yep, trivia question. So the
So,
question
wait a
today.
minute. We should tell Tim. If
yes.
Tim knows the answer to the question, he shouldn't blurt it out.
No,
Okay.
that's right.
Yeah, because this is for the residents.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know you
I
want
can't
this prize.
play. I have three women at home. This could
We can hook you up later.
come in handy.
Oh. Okay, we have a new trivia question submitter today,
Oh.
Agnes Farthing. So
Thank
thank
you.
you for this question.
Thank you, Agnes.
Let's see. The question is, what popular children's board game was invented in 1949 during the polio epidemic? What popular children's board game was invented in 1949 during the polio epidemic? Okay. Are the lines open, Michelle? We're ready. Call if you know the answer. 336-389-4103. 336-389-4103. The lines are now open.
Okay. All right, we'll see what happens.
Nobody in the audience raised their hand.
Well, our audience is slim pickings right out there.
Oh, I thought that was Homer. Sorry,
Slim
couldn't
pickings.
resist.
All right, so we'll see. Hopefully we'll have a winner today. Otherwise,
Okay.
Agnes will win the bag, right? That's what we've
Yes,
decided,
yes.
that if somebody
Nobody
doesn't guess,
guesses.
so that would be good. Okay, so time to turn it to being a little bit more serious. We're going to do a quick little update about the North Carolina coronavirus and how we're doing in North Carolina. And again, this comes from the Department of Health and Human Services. They put out a report every day, kind of listing how we're doing as a state. And so let me give you some updated numbers. So as of today, the state has completed 133,832 cases that they have completed. This is a test that they've completed. And that's about 15,000 more than what it was on Wednesday. So
Wow.
we're seeing a real ramping up of the number of tests that are being done in the state. Out of that 133,000 of completed tests, there are 10,923 laboratory confirmed cases, positive cases, which again, I've been doing this percentage to kind of figure out what's the percentage of confirmed cases versus completed tests. And we've been falling right at 8% mark, and today we're at 8.2. So
Okay.
really for almost the last week and a half, it's been right around that between 8 and 8.5%. Unfortunately, our death rate continues to climb. We're at 399 as of today. That's 45 more than what it was when we chatted on Wednesday. A little bit of good news. The hospitalization rate has dropped a little bit. It's 4 less than what it was on Wednesday, with 547 in the hospital. And just looking at that as a percentage of the positive cases, that's about 5%. So we have about 5% of our positive cases that are in the hospital at this point. And 98 of the 100 counties now are reporting a case at this point. So we're almost at 100% of the counties in North Carolina to have a case of the coronavirus. And then more specifically going into the counties like we've been doing, we've been kind of tracking the larger counties that have the larger number of cases. Mecklenburg continues to still have the highest number. They're at 1,651 cases. That's 84 more than what it was on Wednesday when we were here. Wake is the next biggest county at 839. And Durham is right behind them at 736. And then Wayne County, which we've been talking about, Wayne County kind of popped into the higher numbers here within the last week and a half, and they're at 658 as of today. As far as right around us, Guilford is at 415 cases as of today. That's 58 more than what we were on Wednesday. And Forsyth is 245 as of today. That's 51 more than what we were on Wednesday. So growing about the same pace between the two. Besides that, let's see, there's a few other things to kind of talk about. So just tracking as far as, I've been trying to give you the statistics every once in a while about cases that are in nursing homes or in residential care facilities that are like us. Right now there are, of the 10,923 confirmed cases, 1,778 are in nursing homes and 357 in residential care facilities. So when you add the two together, it comes out to about 2,100 cases, and that's about 20% of the total cases, positive cases that we've had in North Carolina are in nursing homes or in residential care facilities. And unfortunately, we've had 217 deaths out of nursing homes and residential care facilities, which is about 54% of the total deaths. And we know that, right? We know that we have a vulnerable population, and so that shouldn't be a huge surprise to us. The number of nursing homes and residential care facilities continues to climb as far as having outbreaks. We were at 69 on Wednesday, and we're at 73 today. Fortunately, the increases have not been in Guilford County, so that's good. But unfortunately, the cases continue to rise in nursing homes and residential care facilities. And so, we'll just have to kind of keep an eye on that and see how that goes. And then just kind of updating you a little bit about, I don't know how many of you had a chance to watch the governor yesterday. I think the governor was very optimistic about how we're doing as a state. I watched, Lisa and I got a chance to watch Dr. Mindy Cohen, and I think she's terrific. I think she's really, she's very good up in front of a microphone. But she laid out, I think you all have probably been watching this, she's laid out a metric system that the state of North Carolina is using to kind of see when we could get to a point where they feel comfortable starting to reopen North Carolina. And that won't be until all these metrics are going in the right direction. And so I was going to go into all of the different levels, but I think I won't today. I think I'm just going to say that out of the 4 main metrics, if you watched last week, we really only hit 1 of the metrics, and now we're up to 2. So 2 of the 4 we're having a positive trend towards, and they're still watching 2 of the other ones to see how they're going to go. And I think we really need to hit all 4 of those before they're really going to say we can start phase 1. And then they have some other things about laboratory testing and PPE and those kinds of things that, the state is working on as well to try and make sure that we have all those pieces in place before we start with phase 1. But phase 1, so phase 1 includes the idea of having retailers and services needing to implement social distancing, cleaning, and the other protocols. It also, the stay-at-home order remains in place for phase 1, so that hasn't changed. That stays in place. But they're going to be allowing people to leave for more commercial-type activities. That's what phase 1 looks like. And gatherings, again, will still be limited to no more than 10 people. The parks can reopen, but that's subject to gathering limits. Face coverings would be recommended in public. And then, this is where we kind of fall in, unfortunately, in some ways, but unfortunately in another way, and that is our restrictions remain in place for nursing homes and other congregate living settings due to the higher risk population. And we know that. And, we've been saying all along, I think you all know this, that we are definitely going to be very delayed in our approach for reopening the community here and allowing residents to do things here on the community as well as going outside the community, just because we have to take that extra precaution. And so we know that. Matter of fact, Tim, this might be a good time for you to kind of just talk a little bit about, real fast, talk a little bit about, what you're seeing from our sister communities maybe. And I know that you also connected with some communities outside of the state, and maybe a couple seconds on that.
Sure. Yeah, as Tom mentioned, I do have the ability to talk to other organizations. I'll start nationally. I'm fortunate that I'm the president of Presbyterian Association of Homes and Services for the Aging, and we had a board meeting this week, and we had folks on the board from Kansas, Georgia, Virginia, really the D.C. area. We had from New York, and we had from Ohio were the areas. And really, really fortunate in North Carolina. Let me just say, shout out to River Landing and all the rest of the Presbyterian homes, communities, and Friends Homes. As at least as of 3 or 2:30 when I came here, no cases whatsoever. So kudos to staff and residents for really being vigilant. But to start off our meeting, we just asked folks to share what they're doing and so on. And a lot of the sharing was similar things to what we're doing here at River Landing at the Presbyterian Homes. But Virginia, Georgia, places like that, really no cases, much like us, and that was really good to hear. But when we've heard about New York, a hot spot, and, the gentleman that was the CEO in New York, there in Manhattan, he said, I know you all feel blessed to have 0 cases, but everything's relative. He said, we've had 12 deaths at our community. We've had 24 positive cases. And he said, I'm fortunate. I'm with a network here in Manhattan, and people have lost 150 people, whatever the number may be. And he said, so we're blessed. So it's all relative, but it was a word to me to say we must remain vigilant. I will also say that I serve on the board in North Carolina, Leading Age North Carolina, And a week ago Friday, I was talking with the executive of our state association, and there are 4 continuing care retirement communities in North Carolina at that time that had cases. So we need to be vigilant, continue. I will say, I think we're experiencing, and I'm pointing to myself, and I want you to reflect on this, is we're experiencing some coronavirus fatigue. I'm getting really tired of the temperature, the questionnaires, the masks, go apps, and so on. But I'm really trying to push myself and push others. We got to power through this. We've gotten this far, we've gotten this far. We can't stop now. So please don't let your guard down.
You know, Tim, one of the things that you said to us early on, which I thought was really good for me to hear, and I've kind of been repeating that here, is you've said all along, this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And, I think that helped us a little bit from a leadership team here to know, okay, we need to take a breath here. We need to kind of just pace ourselves because, it felt very much like a sprint the first 3 weeks we were in this thing, if not longer. And, lately it's not feeling like so much the sprint. Now it's really starting to feel like the marathon part of what you were talking about.
That's right. That's right. I mean, we were taking this stuff. It was like all this information out of a fire hose, and it was coming at us, and we'd catch 2 or 3 policies, but 12 were coming down the pike. And now, at least it's manageable. Still a lot of changes, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
But, let's run the marathon, in the end, the turtle wins the race. We're going to slow and steady and keep it and be smart about it. And that's our goal.
Mm-hmm.
So, Tim, I think you might find this a little bit funny. We talked about this a little bit on Wednesday, but we had a question from residents about whether or not they could go out and exercise their vehicles here and actually leave the property as long as they promised not to get out of their cars. And we said, yeah, that's fine, just as long as you're not getting out of your vehicles. And you'd have thought we'd given $1 million to the residents. And we've had so many positive comments about that, haven't we?
Just to have a change of scenery.
Yeah.
And they were bringing on no risk to themselves. And it just to be able to get out.
And it's funny, we talked about this a little bit about an appreciation for the things that we don't have anymore that we did have that we can't do right now. And when you get something back like that, that's a little thing, and you would think, 2 months ago, we wouldn't have thought twice about going out for exercising our vehicle, right? Here's, wow, I get to go out and exercise my vehicle. And so what a cool thing to be able to do. And I think it's given us, hopefully, give us all an appreciation for what we had. And hopefully that'll carry forward as we continue to beat this thing and move forward. So
exercise that air conditioner in your car.
There you go.
Just don't get out.
Right. Exactly. Okay, so Lisa, I think we had some questions today, right?
Yes, we do. Just a couple questions today. Will there be a special meal for Mother's Day?
Oh, boy. That's right. It's coming up.
I know. It's crazy. So not this Sunday, but the next Sunday.
Following Sunday?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. So yes, there will be. The entrees that day will be pork loin and beef tenderloin. So it is already on your menu. That's on Care Immersion in your in-house boxes. And I think Cindy's going to do a nice little menu flyer as well. So just kind of highlight what there is.
So Tim, is that one of your favorites, pork loin and beef tenderloin?
Beef tenderloin?
Look, to say a favorite, all of the above. Yeah. I don't want to belabor that, but that's been really a struggle thinking about Mother's Day coming up.
Yes.
It might be one of the biggest days at our community.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's going to be different this year. But somebody told me the other day, they said, look, we hate that we're not going to have the typical celebration that we do and that mothers deserve on Mother's Day. But if you think about it, all the seniors graduating from college and high school, their graduations are going to be different this year.
Right.
So a lot of people have had to make changes, and as much as the mothers deserve to be celebrated, we're just going to have to figure out a different way to celebrate them.
Yeah. Yep.
And so
you're right.
I hate that that's the way it's going to be, but maybe this will be one that you remember in a different special way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, I think it's another food-related item.
It's another food one.
I love it.
Can we have steak as a special? You all know steak is a very hard item to prepare for 400 plus residents.
Yeah. Yes, it
When
is.
we all like it in different ways. So next week, starting on Monday, so Monday through Saturday, there is a flat iron steak special on your menu. So that starts on Monday. We're going to try it for the week and see how it goes. It won't be where you can say, I want medium rare, I want well done. We're cooking it to medium rare, I believe, and then if you want to finish it off at home.
Right.
It's just hard with that many folks requesting steak, and to be able to have it to the exact temperature would be almost impossible
Absolutely.
for the time period that we have.
So we're going to try this. And
We're going to
see how
try
goes.
it.
We're going to
Yep.
see how it goes.
Yep.
But I think if we do it as a medium rare, or then I think we'll be in pretty good shape.
I think
Then
so.
residents, people that like medium rare will love it.
That's
and
right.
Those that
That's
like
right.
it a little bit more cooked, they can just finish it off at home, like
Right.
you were saying, Lisa. So
Where do I pick that up?
yeah.
Up at the clubhouse. Just swing on in, Tim.
You know, I wonder how we got the name Flat Iron Steak, because we don't actually
Don't
use
know.
an iron on it, I'm sure,
No,
right? So
I don't know how they got
yeah,
that.
we'll have to ask Joseph that.
We're
Maybe
going to
that
have to
could be
research it. I bet it's on Google. If somebody wants to check it out for us and then email us, then we can talk about it on Monday.
Yeah, obviously.
Yep. Good
Can we-
trivia question.
We'll do another bag.
Yeah.
Or another free month. I can't remember.
Go on, next.
Lisa, I can't believe you went there.
So
All right, do we have
last
any other-
question.
Yes.
Do you have any more cloth masks for us residents? I had a disposable one and it ripped. Well, we don't want you to have to staple it. I have heard of people stapling their mask.
Yeah, please don't do that.
We have cloth masks, so just come to the front desk. We have plenty of supply there. We've had generous residents being able to sew these, and we've had outside folks that have helped us with that as well. Kirsten, your daughter's made
Yeah.
masks. We've had, I think, some people at MSO that's made a few
Yes.
masks for us. So we've had people from all over supporting us. So we don't want you to wear a mask that you've had to staple and fix and all that good stuff. So swing by the front desk and we can get you one.
Yeah, I mean, if your mask especially is worse than the color of mud, then it's time to replace
It's
your
time
mask
to replace
probably,
it.
and you need
Yes,
to come on and bring
yes.
it. And we, the fortunate part is we have been successful in getting some additional masks, not just
Right.
even the homemade ones. We've been very successful here lately of getting some additional masks, which is really important for us, especially if we were to have a case here. We're
Right.
going to need the higher quality masks, I
Right,
guess is the better
right.
way to say that. But yes, please come on by. We'll make sure we get you a mask and a new one if you need it. How about birthdays?
Okay, time for
today?
birthdays.
Yeah.
So birthday today is Catherine McCrary. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Catherine.
And Helen Pierce.
Oh,
So
happy
we have two
birthday.
birthdays today.
That's awesome.
Yes,
And then it's Friday, so do we have any birthdays for the weekend?
we do. So Saturday we have Bob Warren.
Oh,
Happy
okay.
birthday. And this next one's a special one. Celebrating 100 years.
Wow.
Aileen Schrick. So happy
Wow.
early birthday.
That's awesome.
That's pretty
Wow.
amazing.
So
100
that's
years old.
Two 100-year-olds in about a month?
Yes, yes.
Paul Stewart was
Paul
about
Stewart was just
2 or 3
2
weeks
weeks ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
Wow.
So that's pretty amazing.
yeah, that's pretty.
So happy early birthday.
100 years old. That's fantastic. So we're mixing it up a little bit. We're saving our guest speaker for
Right.
the end
Right.
here. So our agenda is a little bit different than what it usually is. But so we have a trivia winner.
We do.
Okay.
We do have one. So let me check my phone here. Michelle sent me. Yes, we do have a winner.
Okay, good.
Okay. So the trivia question from Agnes Farthing was, what popular children's board game was invented in 1949 during the polio epidemic? Tim, do you want to have a guess at it before I announce?
Candyland?
Candyland.
Ah, very good.
So the answer is Candyland. Good guess.
That wasn't a guess.
Oh,
That was
you
an
knew
answer.
it. You knew it.
No, it was a guess. That's the answer.
I know you wanted the toilet paper, but you don't get it.
Oh.
Well,
Okay,
didn't you say you stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night, Tim?
Okay, so the winner besides Tim was Patricia Sajevec.
Ah,
So
right.
congratulations. We will deliver this later today, so we'll make sure Brian gets all the items
guess
up to
that.
you. So,
good.
and just another note that Agnes provided for us A young San Diego school teacher named Eleanor Abbott invented Candyland, one of the most popular board games of all times. Abbott created the game inside a polio ward as a patient herself, with the hope of giving the immobilized children around her a momentary sense of freedom and mobility. Milton Bradley was quick to buy the game from Abbott.
Wow.
So that's how it came to be.
That's pretty neat.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
a good one. That's a good story. So, okay, Lisa, we're going to go ahead and talk about our guests for next week.
Yes,
So
yes. We have a good lineup already for next
assuming,
week.
Wait a minute. This is assuming we'll be able to
That we
continue
make it
after
through today. So, assuming we're both still here.
Free rent. Shows canceled.
So Monday we have resident John Scroggins, and he will be coming in to discuss the birds, the bird club, and also having a bird quiz for us. And before Monday, he wants you all to think and research this question that we're going to have on Monday for the trivia.
Okay.
What was Long John Silver's parrot's name?
Long
John Silver's parrot's
Parrot.
name.
Parrot.
Parrot, like a bird.
Like a bird. Yeah.
Parrot.
Parrot name.
So that must be one you got to research. So I
And
haven't.
it's not like Polly or anything like that.
No, it's
right?
not Polly.
Okay.
Not Polly.
something simple like that.
No,
And it's not Darth Vader. That was
it
was
is
an
not.
answer
That
to
was
the
the
question
answer
from, a
from
few weeks
7
ago.
weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I want to say the Bird Club inspired me to put out two bluebird. What was that? Two
Say it in English.
bluebird houses, and I have one nest.
that's cool. Very
Nobody
cool.
told
They
me
would
that
love
you're
to hear
not supposed
that.
to be two so close. So
Okay.
Yeah, you have to have them so far apart.
I know.
I know.
I have them about
Yeah.
12 feet apart.
And I didn't realize also you have to have them facing a certain direction.
You do.
I was-
southwest or southeast.
I was looking for
West.
twins to nest. They were 12 feet
Oh, is that
apart.
what
Yeah.
So we'll have to ask John on Monday those rules.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
Things
sure
related
John
to
has
bluebird
all that.
houses.
Yeah.
Yes. Tuesday, we're showing The Honeymooners, a couple more episodes of that. Wednesday, we have back Ken Massey. Somehow he's like a bad penny. He just keeps coming back.
Yes.
So he's
And-
back on
and Lisa, we
Wednesday.
need to mention that'll be the day after we do the reverse raffle.
Right,
tonight.
right.
So
Yep.
we don't know if Freddie Bob or Billy Bob
Or Ken.
Susie Bob or whoever is going to show up at this
We're
point.
not
Wednesday's
sure.
the low budget day. I got it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Ken, I hope you're watching.
Yes.
Oh. And then Thursday, we have Wiz Horner and Jim Kalaki. They're going to come on and talk about the Employee Scholarship Fund and our new member that has joined the committee.
Yeah.
So that will be good. And then Friday, we're hoping to show the USO show. For folks that weren't here when we showed that, that was a few years ago.
Yeah, we were thinking it was like 5 or 6 years
I
ago.
think so. And it was Gabe
like
Brown that I think kind of headed that whole group
yeah,
up.
Yeah, we're here
so.
to tell us probably exactly when it was. but,
Right, right.
That was a fun show.
It was great. So we're hoping we can find a copy of that. So Gabe Brown, if you're listening, we're looking for a copy of the USO show.
Well, I was just going to say, I think George gave us the last copy we have, so I'm hoping George
But
has
you know,
it at
we're
this point.
we're bad sometimes, and we misplace things, so we are sorry. But we do need another copy.
Yeah, that was a fun show.
Yes, that was
a fun
good.
show.
That was
a really
good.
good show. So, okay.
Okay, save the best for last now.
Best for last.
Yes.
So Tim,
Were you looking for?
Well, I was like,
Oh, we got
do we
plenty
have
of
this
time.
We're
got
we're
plenty-
We
good.
got plenty of time.
Okay.
Yeah, we-
Yep,
we got
yep,
plenty of
we're
time.
good.
Just want
We
to be
got plenty
sure.
of time.
I didn't know if we needed
Nope.
to sneak in a
Oh,
turn.
wait a minute. They said that I had about 10 minutes that I could. It's all right.
Oh
Got
Lord.
me, got me down
Oh.
here. Got me down here.
Oh, I
excuse
needed
me.
to get security. Just a minute.
Yep.
Security is probably not too far away because
Oh.
he brought me down here and said I had about 10 minutes.
Oh,
or
okay.
so. But he said I had to wear the mask because I'm outside and you people got something going on here. I don't know what that is. I'm
sorry,
looking
sorry, I didn't catch your name.
Leonard Spruill.
Sproul. Thank you.
Spruill.
Okay. Well, welcome, Leonard.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
It's good to be here. I'm here looking for a Timothy Weber. Is there a Timothy Weber here?
I don't know. Is
No,
there Timothy
no.
Weber here?
No, sir.
Which
Do you work for Homer?
Homer? Homer?
Homer Hathcock.
I don't know. The guy that brought me down here, his name was Honey Cakes.
Oh.
Honey cakes.
Honey.
Um,
Yes.
So, well, you're the closest thing to
Close.
Weber that we've got. Well,
Maybe a close relative.
Okay. Well, what is your name, sir?
Tim Webster.
Stir.
Webster.
Webster.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does that stir stand for, sir?
You might ask Tom or Lisa that. I might stir the pot every now and then or something.
Stir. All right. Stir the part. Okay. Interesting. Webster. Do you know the origin of that name?
Just, I know the great Uncle Daniel.
Uh-huh.
The dictionary. You've heard of that.
Uh-huh. Yes.
I'm kind of getting nervous. I have a 3:30 conference call.
your great grandfather, was he a Native American by chance?
My 23andMe results haven't come back, so I'm not sure of the origin.
Well, I thought you might be interested because there is a Native American word, Webster.
Okay.
And it's from the Choctaw tribe, and the word Webster, strangely enough, now that I'm looking at you, means man of little hair.
I'm glad to fit the bill.
Well,
yeah.
That looked very good. Since we had problems with your name there, before I tell you why I'm here, I couldn't help but Webster. Webster, yeah,
Yes.
Stir. Is that the name, sir, that you use in your unauthorized trips to Tijuana, Mexico?
This guy is with security. He's done a lot of research.
Yes.
Yeah. You didn't find that on my Facebook page.
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I didn't find that there.
Yes, that's
the name that
that's
you
the
use?
name.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
good. Well, we can put a check mark there on that.
Good.
That one's good.
I've only been to Tijuana once.
Only once?
Yes.
When was that, sir?
In the 80s. I don't remember the exact date.
So nothing in 2018?
No. I didn't bring the virus to America.
Not worried about the virus that you brought back. Worried about what else you might have brought back. The reason I'm here, sir, is you probably have heard of I think you're a part of it, as a matter of fact, the Phi Foundation. Are you aware of that?
The Five Foundation.
Phi Foundation.
Yeah, tell.
PHI.
PHI. Thank you. Yes, I have heard about that.
Yeah. Well,
yes, I'm a big supporter.
Are you? Oh, you're a supporter.
I'm scared to answer that question.
Okay. Well,
And I don't know how you're keeping a straight face, sir.
These are, it's a very serious subject here. So,
I'm sorry.
At any rate, the lady who just recently got in charge of that, Nancy
Rayner.
No, I don't think that was it. I have her name on my contract, though, but
Okay.
what she asked is if it was possible for my company to do an audit. It's not necessarily a suitability review of you in your job as a CIO.
Yeah.
But
Close
she wanted a report.
She would. Okay.
She want a report back. And it was sort of interesting. This PHI. Is there any particular reason why that organization is named after the first letter in the Greek alphabet?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah.
You're not aware of that.
No.
I mean, you are the head of the organization, but you don't know.
Yeah, that's a gotcha question.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Great.
I think it stands for Presbyterian, though. But
Presbyterian?
yes.
I don't think there's many Presbyterians in Greece.
May not be.
Well,
Check
okay.
Scotland.
Scotland, yes. Yeah, there were several in Scotland, I believe. So I have a series of questions that I'll go through rather quickly.
Please.
First of all, do you consider yourself to be a humble person?
I try to be, yes, sir.
Now, see, sir, when you answer a question like that and you say, yes, I am humble, that really means that you're not very humble.
I'm really not very humble.
So you're not humble.
Well, yes, I try to be. Yes, sir.
You try to be. Okay.
Yes.
There's a lot of your employees who said something along that you try to be. Not always successful there. A number of your employees said some very nice things about you. How do you feel about that?
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I try to be humble. Yes,
Yeah.
it's very nice.
My impression when they said those things is they were scared to death of you.
Oh.
Couldn't come up with
Can we go
anything
back
else.
behind the curtain? We have a little chat.
I think that was some of the reasoning that they had. Okay, a couple of questions and observations. How tall are you, sir?
6 foot.
6 foot.
Yes, sir.
Is it true what they say about tall men?
What might that be?
If you don't know the answer, it's probably not true.
Okay. Check that box.
Check it. I understand from some of your employees that in the past when they've had snowstorms here that you've come over and actually shoveled snow.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I do what I can to help.
Huh.
I lead by example.
Is it also true that the last time you did that, after about an hour, you said you had a back problem and filed for disability and took 2 weeks off?
The last part's not true. I might have had a back problem.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah.
You did not file
I'm
for
aging
disability.
too.
Yeah, I can tell. Right before my eyes.
Yeah. That's true.
Yes,
That's
yes.
true.
I see that you went to college up in the mountains there at Applesauce State. Is that right? Applesauce State?
Now, this has gone too far now. You've really crossed the line.
It's not applesauce.
No, sir. And it's not Appalachian.
Oh, that's the name of the mountains, though.
No, it's not Appalachian. Let's get that right now.
Well, where did applesauce come from?
That's your penmanship there. I'm trying to remain humble and...
See, that was a trick question because most people would say applesauce comes from apples.
Oh,
And
yes.
you missed that.
Yeah. And I'm the CIO.
Yeah, you're in the union?
No, sir. No.
Oh,
No.
okay. A baseball fan, I understand. Chicago?
Yes. Go Cubs.
Go Cubs?
Yes. Not the other team. Oh.
I'm a White Sox fan myself, but
Oh. I'm sorry.
your wrong answer will not
Oh.
in any way impact what I put in the report.
Oh.
You live in Randytown in Asheville, I understand.
Richard Petty country.
Yes. That's nice country there.
Yeah.
I believe you're married.
Yes, sir. I am. I'm fortunate.
You're fortunate.
Yeah.
I spoke to a lady who said she was your wife last week, so I'm assuming that you answered that correctly.
What number did you call?
Took me 3 times.
Okay.
Do you have any regrets in that marriage?
Oh, no, sir. You have to ask her if she does, but...
Well, funny you should mention that.
Oh.
But it's good to know that only one of you has regrets. So that's good. And you have a dog, I understand, named Marcia?
Macy.
Macy.
Yes.
What kind of dog is that, sir?
A Shih Tzu.
Hmm?
A Shih Tzu.
Got to be careful with that, don't you?
Yes, you do. You don't want to get a little tongue-tied on that one.
No, you don't. An observation, if I may.
Sure.
Last Saturday night, about midnight, I was rummaging around through your office. And incidentally, do you have any security over there?
River Landing Security.
You might want to talk to Mr. Honeycakes about that.
Honey cakes.
It took me 30 seconds to get into your front door.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, of course, it was midnight, so that...
Yeah.
Well, anyway, in your office, I got to tell you, that's one of the messiest offices I've ever seen. I mean,
Thank you.
There's just paper everywhere.
But I know where it all is, I'll guarantee you.
Well, it's everywhere. No wonder you know where it is. It's everywhere. Can't miss that. Quite frankly, there's only one other office I've seen that's ever been that messy.
Yes. Lisa or Tom?
Take your pick.
I resemble that remark.
Okay. Let's see.
You've got a lot of notes there.
I did. Well, I've spoken to a lot of your employees.
Yeah.
Back to the office again, if I may. A lot of golf memorabilia and trophies up there all over your bookcase there. You're a pretty good golfer?
I know how to select teammates when it comes to a best ball tournament.
So okay, so you have earned those.
Yes, along with my teammates.
Along with your teammates.
Yeah, I'm trying to be humble.
Okay. It was kind of interesting because as I was looking at those and I looked at the bottom of them, they said there were price stickers on there saying they were bought at Dick's Sporting Goods. Does that change your answer any?
Wow, you really did look in my office.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did.
He did.
Let's see. There was a red plastic cup, a Solo cup on your
Water
desk.
only, sir.
Well, you might want to invest in a new cup. That one's got something growing in the bottom of it. So
That's a possibility.
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
that might work on how you do your job if you got rid of that what was growing in there.
Thank you.
Okay, that's very good. Okay, last question. You've been in the job how long?
Well, I've been in the job about 12 years.
12 years.
Yes, been with the organization 26.
Okay. During that period of time, is there anything, let's just leave it at your current job,
Okay.
that you have done that you are ashamed of?
That I'm ashamed of. Haven't had that question. It's usually flipped the other way, but no, sir, I tried. I'm not saying I have been perfect, but I've nothing I'm ashamed of.
Would you like to see a list that your employees put together?
I know you don't have that list because your binder's not big enough.
It's not. No, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah.
Well, that's the last question that I have. As I said, I do have to get the report done this month. I don't have any more questions for you. Right. There is one thing, since you brought up your Tijuana travel earlier. There was a lady here, I believe last Friday, from your office. Marlena Roy or something like that?
Close, yes.
Close?
Yes.
Marlena Close?
No. Well, Marisa Ray.
Okay, all right. Yeah, that's okay. Probably very much of a coincidence, but that lady, Marlena or whatever, she used to work in Tijuana some years ago.
I don't think she's ever been to. She hasn't been out of the state of North Carolina.
Well, maybe not under that name, but and some other things that have come up there. Okay, that's probably well. One other thing, now that you mentioned her, you might, if you do talk to her about that, because background checks are sometimes important.
Sure. Yeah.
What you might want to ask her about, or when you talk to her, is to look at her ears, because her earrings are little miniature handcuffs.
Oh.
And that should tell you something.
Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you very much. I will see you next week over in your office. I have some personal questions that I didn't want to bring up here in front of everybody.
Thank you.
And so we'll have.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard.
Tom, I would like to see you after this
Yeah,
show. I
this is
think
our
we're going to
last
talk about the screening. We're going to talk about the screening of residents as they come into River Landing.
I don't know what you're talking about, Tim.
Yeah.
I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Homer didn't catch that one. I don't know. I don't know how he
You
got
mean
through.
Homer honey cakes?
Honey cakes.
Yeah. Yeah, his security team is really taking a nosedive.
Uh,
Well, Tim, before we were interrupted,
Yes.
you know, kind of getting back maybe to just a little couple more quick questions, because I thought there was a couple things that I haven't had a chance to ask you about, and that's
Sure.
I think the residents would like to know just a couple things about maybe what's going on with the other communities, what kind of an effect that, if any, that the coronavirus has had on them, and I think
Sure.
you'd be a perfect one to talk about.
Sure. The other communities, many of you all know our other communities, Scotia Village in Laurinburg, Glen Eyre in Cary, and then the Friends Homes in Greensboro. But I do need to mention Capitol Towers in Raleigh as well, and we're working on a affordable housing. We're maybe going to call it Milner Village or something like that in Raleigh. But anyway, again, we're without case thus far. Thank the good Lord, and I don't mean that just as cliche. I really am thankful for that. But really the procedures and everything that the other communities are taking are very, very similar to River Landing. They're just probably tweaked to fit each community.
Yeah.
We are so fortunate that we are having, it used to be daily calls, then we went to every other day, and now we're maybe down to twice a week or once a week, but to share best practices between the communities. We share challenges that we're having and problem solve together. So as far as, I'll call them restrictions and so on,
Yeah.
they're very similar between all of the communities. And it's been really nice to help out Capitol Towers, our affordable housing folks, because they don't have the resources that we do, but we gave them all our policies and procedures. They've implemented them, and they've been very, very grateful for that. But
Yeah, speaking of Capitol Towers, if I'm not mistaken, they were either in the middle or towards the end
Yeah.
of a renovation of their own. Is that correct?
yeah, we started a renovation of Capitol Towers, 300 apartments in 2 separate buildings. We started that last July, and that was to be completed at the end of this calendar year in December. We continued to rehab as the coronavirus started to, if you will, blossom. But then we decided to cease renovations. I want to say it was late March. It just too much contact between construction workers and the residents, and we just didn't feel comfortable, either the workers or the residents. And so we ceased the renovation. But we're now to a point and found solutions where we can separate and feel comfortable with safety. That our goal right now is to start that rehab again, get it going again, either the second week of May or third. We're still working on that.
That's great.
Yeah.
And so I think, Tim, another question that residents probably would have is, is it too early to tell what kind of effect maybe the coronavirus is going to have on the financial picture for
Sure.
for Presbyterian Homes?
Yeah, well, several things on the financial picture of Presbyterian Homes. Number one, really grateful to our board in the oversight they've provided and direction they've given management that we are and were strong going into this. One of the first things we did when this virus, the breakout came and we were making changes in operations is we did some additional stress testing of our finances and said, what ifs? What if our occupancy went down X percent? What if we didn't do any more admissions?
Right.
And so on. And the good thing is the testing we did, it shows a continued strong picture and everything. And so to speak, we can weather the storm. The second thing is there's no doubt the amount of supplies related to sanitation, related to PPE, not this type of mask, but our real K95 procedure masks, gowns, hand sanitizers, wipes, gloves. The list goes on and on. We have seen a tremendous increase, and that was expected. But we said, okay, how's that going to look overall? Labor, overtime's gone up. somewhat staffing's equalized and everything. But all that to say, our March financials came out and we were right on budget. And that was about 15 days of dealing with the virus. April will be interesting, but we think we're going to be very close to budget. And
Great.
So that's a positive. What we're seeing is some areas really big increases, but other areas some decreases, but overall pretty good. One thing, and you know this very, very well because you've been part of it, is we have ceased admissions into the skilled nursing area twofold. One, we just felt it was too risky. Other than our own residents, we obviously have a commitment, and we'll always honor that. But also, we're prepared if we should get a case that we isolate. And so that's caused us to bring our skilled nursing down. That will help us, or that will hurt us going forward. There is a piece of positive news in it, and this is where our government has helped us, is organizationally, the Medicare dollars, there's been support through the stimulus package that we've received because we're a Medicare provider. I don't know off the top of my head what River Landing's portion of that, but it's been close to $500,000 of support that we've received for that, for the whole organization. Yeah, and that's not River Landing, but the whole organization. So that's really key. And that'll allow us to, if there's things we need to do as far as salaries with people that are treating people that may have to be quarantined or whatnot, we can have some flexibility. And that was the reason the government provided the money.
So, Tim, let's just talk a little bit about, it seems so funny right now, the Management Services Office, which is located right here on River Landing property, albeit on a corner of the property, there was a time 2 months ago where we got a chance to see you all quite a bit for coming picking up meals or whatever the case may be. So, we don't get a chance to see you as much, which is the right thing to be, quite honestly. But, I think the question kind of comes, how's the rest of the group in Management Services Offices doing? And, I just will say personally for Lisa and I, and I'm not just saying this to save my job right now, but that, you all just provide such a support for us here in the communities, and we really appreciate that so much. And, I know I speak for Alan at Scotia and Paul at Glen Erin and Arnie over at Friends Homes.
Sure.
You have helped us to make this work for us, and so we certainly wouldn't have been able to do this without you. So how's the field there? How's things going?
So as you know, we have 23 people that work out of the Management Services Office, and we always say our jobs at the Management Services Office are to serve and support the folks, whether it be residents or the management at the communities, and we realize that. But everyone's doing well. We did take the measure when the stay-at-home orders came out. We really looked really closely, and with technology, a good number of our people are able to work from home. We have 5 or 6 accounting people, and those type of folks just work in their office at a computer, and our technology allows us to, I can go home, for instance, and be at my desktop at home, and it looks just like my desktop when I'm at work. And so we have people that are doing that. We just said social distancing for us is just as important as anyone else. And we know that we need to have that support for the team here, the team at Scotia, Glen Erin, and so on.
Right.
So we've allowed for a little more flexible work schedule than we have. And, we do enjoy being at the community. I think this is the 3rd time I've been at River Landing in 8 weeks. Normally I would say 8-week period. I'm here 3 or 4 days a week, so, that would be a whole bunch of time. So it's hard.
Yeah.
It really is. But we realize that we all need to stay healthy so we can support one another. We want to be available. Tom and Lisa have a question or need something or need to be addressing something else and have to let something drop. Can we pick it up and run with the ball? Everybody's doing well, though. It's just an odd time for sure.
Yeah. Lisa and I have talked. We had Marisa here last week. We have you here this week. We thought it might be nice to actually cycle through another half dozen folks from the Management Services Office that maybe our residents don't really ever get a chance to come into contact much, except maybe seeing them in the bistro.
Right.
And just kind of talk through some of what they do. We thought that might be some interesting conversation. So we've got a few more folks that we're talking about for the future.
Sure.
Might be
They'd really enjoy it. We've had a lot of meetings via Zoom. A lot of you all have probably, kept in touch with your families that way. It's a great tool. And so, it's forced us to use technology even to a greater extent, try and be even more efficient with our time. So maybe a positive thing out of the coronavirus situation.
So last question for you, because our time clock here is just
close.
about
It
up.
is.
Yeah,
So,
getting close.
And that is, how's Tina, your wife, and how your daughter's doing? I mean, how's everybody holding up with this?
Well, I alluded to, I'm fortunate. I have 3 great women in my life. Of course, my wife, Tina, and everything, and she's a retired school teacher, and it's really a blessing. She retired in the last year. It's a blessing because that's really helped me in this time where there's been more work hours and everything and taking care of the home front. And I've got 2, let's say, grown daughters, a soon-to-be 24-year-old next week and a soon-to-be 27-year-old. My 27-year-old is a doctor of pharmacy, and she actually works in healthcare, so it's been kind of interesting as a father. Been a little concerned. She's not going to long-term care facilities as much. She works pharmacy consultant. She would call on places like River Landing's nursing area. So she hasn't been in and out of communities as much, but when she has to, she goes. And as a father, you worry about your children going into area where there could be, if you will, danger and so on. But she's doing really well, and she's really feels a calling that these people need her service more than ever right now. And then my 24-year-old was in PA school at Campbell. She's decided to come back and nest at home again. But she's continuing her online education, and but doing well.
Great.
Yeah. And the dog Macy.
Yes, Macy.
The Shih Tzu. Shih Tzu. Maybe I said that wrong. I hope that security guy has
Leonard, are you around?
left the house. Yeah. She doesn't really like us being around as much, or people being around the house as much. It ruins her 18 hours of sleep a day, but she'll get over it.
Wow. Well, I just want to say thank you. Thanks for coming on board. Thanks for being a good sport. And
it's been fun.
Thanks for coming and being a part of the show today.
Thank you.
It's been great. It's been a good show. And, I think, Lisa, I think we're done, right?
I think so. This was a great way to end the week.
Yeah, I thought it was too. So.
Yeah. Well, if I could just say to the residents, thank you all for really helping us. I don't think any of us 70 days ago saw this coming and everything. But it's really been gratifying to hear from Tom and Lisa as to we're all in this together, working together to make the best of this situation. And, the employees and the team here, I've stood at the podium when it was right up there and said, you're very fortunate to have this team. And it's in times like this that, you really see that group shine. And I can't really express. I've tried to write reports to the boards and just share with them how amazing the staff is. But thank you to the residents. Thank you to the staff. Remember, it's a marathon. So let's stay in this together, and we'll get through this.
Amen. I don't think I could have said it any better. So, well, we hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy it. Looks like the weather's going to be nice this weekend. So I hope you all enjoy. And hopefully, Lisa and I will be back here on Monday. If you see us on Monday at 3 o'clock, you know that we're safe at this point. So, with that being said, we love you all. Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.